Welcome to Frontiers in Bioscience podcast series, where we discuss our past cosmic and biological evolution and our path to own biological and cosmic fate. I am your host, Dr. Sai.
Hello again. I am happy that you're back. I guess it was enticing enough to come back. I have viewed so many YouTube, and lots of them are informative and allows us to see things that we otherwise would not be able to see. And I try in this session to deliver a message to all of us that we are scientists and we work constantly on behalf of humanity to understand the reality that we live in. But there is truly a deficiency. The deficiency that our thoughts is bound by our materialistic world, the 3 dimension of space and 1 dimension of time. Unfortunately, we are just like an ant walking on a thin rope that can never look back and has to go forward. And ultimately, when the rope ends, has a dark, dark future. We are not faring better than that ant. We are imprisoned by this 3-dimensional world that, according to Leonard Susskind, according to holographic principle, it's really nothing except a 3-dimensional representation of a 2-dimensional world. Imagine if you are imprisoned in a 2-dimension and these dimensional objects can never see the 3rd dimension. How is their perception of their reality? We know that their perception is limited, and our perception definitely is limited. We are linear thinkers. We cannot see back, and we cannot see in the future, despite the fact of the Einstein who said once that we live in a loaf of bread. And this loaf, within it, it is our past, present, and the future combined. We perceive our reality because of the passage of time, witnessing what passes through us and in front of us. But of course, perhaps according to the deterministic thinking of Einstein, everything is there, and we merely perceive it. And when I talk about consciousness and free will, you will understand my view that we are not really ourselves conscious, nor we have free will. And I give you my scientific reasoning for reaching to that conclusion. However, despite the fact that we are imprisoned in this magical universe that looks 3-dimensional by an illusion, we have no choice other than to go through historical records of our pioneers and giant men that allowed us to be here. The great linear thinkers that have understood this materialistic world. The faultiness of our thinking comes from one evidence that is known to all physicists. Only 4.9% of the entire universe is made of matter. The laws of physics that we tend to understand and formulate into beautiful mathematical formulas is only explaining such a small fraction of reality and our cosmos. The physicists at the late 20th century, They were forced to come up with dark energy and dark matter. And now we know that about 28% of our universe is made of dark matter. And about 68% of our universe is dark energy. Yet, we do not know anything about these forces. Even the great thinkers that live today, they only interpret the materialistic world based on principles that they observe. When we went through the initial understanding of laws of physics, it only applies to the energy and matter. The famous equation of Einstein, one of the biggest founders of modern physics, only says very limited portion of this grand universe. It says EMC square. It only talks about energy and matter. Matter creates mass and gravity and time. And then at the other end of this spectrum, that are called matter, energy, continuum principle. On one end, we have the matter that creates the time and the gravity. Can we pack a lot of matter in a small space? The answer is, when we do that, the end result is to create black holes. And on the other end of this spectrum, what do we have? Massless light, timeless light, that is still a subject to the materialistic world. It can be bent by gravity. When the black holes exist, even the light cannot be escaped from such universal and grand gravity. It looks black and dark. We have never been able to see the black hole itself, but the impact, the fingerprint that it has in our universe. Perhaps, according to some, even our entire universe might be truly a true black hole. I will propose my own ideas of what our universe represents later, after I have reviewed adequately the present science of physics. When we understood that we are made of single cells, the idea emerged that we have reached to understanding life. We were so wrong. I have to take you through this story of understanding the grand universe to the smallest particles that makes us. The true linear thinking that has brought us from the beginning to where we are.